Week 1 of PFR Scoreboard on Lakeshore Public Television. Highlights and scores as we kick off the high school football season. All of it's coming up next on Lakeshore Public Television.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit nipsco.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?
Alrighty, we are live on Lakeshore PBS for PFR Scoreboard. And Wayne, a couple big surprises tonight. We're going to start with one of
Big
them.
ones. Oh, boy, there were a couple of games that really surprised me.
Yeah, there were, well, as usual.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Even a couple that I think shocked most everybody.
Yes.
All right, let's go to the highlights. We start off tonight from out at Demery Stadium where Andrean's back in 3A and might pick the right year to go back to 3A.
Yeah, that's for sure. Boy, I'm telling you, they really put it to Maryville here.
Zach Merrill's the quarterback. We knew Teely Ryan was going to be outstanding coming back at running back, but Maryville had problems both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, they really did. And, you know, Andrean's offensive line is just huge. And they opened up some holes. Look at that run right there. Yeah, you know, Andrean just simply dominated.
This is looking like Phil Mason's Andrean team putting it on Maryville,
That's right.
but like they did when he was there. And I think the shocking thing tonight, Wayne, was Maryville didn't score till like late in the third.
I don't think they did score.
Late in the third.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean they didn't score till late
right.
in the third. I mean that was.
Wow.
That's
that's
not good.
something. That's not good at all.
No.
But I heard that they also put the ball on the ground too. In the,
I mean, that's kind of an embarrassing opener for them.
oh my gosh. For sure.
Really, with Andrean's a solid football team. What were they though? They weren't
5 and 6.
5 and 6 a year ago. Wasn't exactly a great Andrean team. You gotta like what they got coming back. I mean, you look at Zach Merrill on these highlights. He looks good.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
I mean, he looks like somebody that. I think the shocking thing here is that Maryville's offense and defense just wasn't very good. And here's he wasn't gonna even if he catches that ball though, he's not going anywhere.
That's
He's got
right.
some great coverage, but obviously just this. I think what was it, 35-0 at one point. In
That's
this
right.
game?
That's right. Ended up 42-13.
So Andrean with a huge win, and they get off to a great start on the season. And T-Dub is joining us from the radio side, and this has got to surprise you as well.
Yeah, it's got to be a big surprise. I was not shocked that Andrean won the game. It's the point spread that was the big-time shock.
Yeah.
And who does Maryville play next week? By the way, they just had it up on the board.
A team that lost their opener tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be that's a impressive.
They're going to
win.
look to get well against Penn.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that. That's a look on that one.
A Penn team that lost.
You think that they'll be in a bad mood next Friday?
Yeah,
just a little bit.
It should be a long week of practice for both of those teams.
No doubt.
All right, Wheeler and River Forest. We were talking last night that this might be a close one, but the coach Dan Hudak era got off to a great start.
Great start.
Early tonight. They got off to a big start.
They're running that wing tee, and boy, they're doing an outstanding job.
I think we got some highlights
Yep,
of this
I
one,
thought so.
guys. New coach, those things kind of go out the window when you think about the fact that they can practice all summer.
Right, that's
so
right.
obviously, if you're changing anything, you've had a long time. Although there were a lot of turnovers tonight.
Oh, okay.
For folks that have been
Right.
practicing all summer.
Right.
So, still working out some of the problems. Wheeler's been physical in the past running the football. River Forest, though, had a solid football season, had some players back. So we thought this one might be close, but it wasn't until late in the second half, really, when River Forest came back.
Yeah, Wheeler's line just did an outstanding job there.
Nice throw. Nice catch.
throw for
Wheeler,
River
River
Forest.
Forest
River
touchdown.
Forest.
Obviously, we don't know a ton about Wheeler, but they're looking for a bounce back year football-wise.
Yeah, now Wheeler's running what offense again?
The wing tee.
The wing tee. How tough is it to prepare for the wing tee during the first week of the season? And Wayne and I discussed this earlier. You have no film, and all of a sudden you see the wing tee, which you will not see again this year. That's a big advantage.
It is, and they obviously didn't do a whole lot to show much, I'm sure, in their scrimmage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But this might be something that is based on their talent as well. Because,
Oh, sure.
You get a lead running back. You get a lead running back in front of the back out of the backfield. That's going to be a big advantage for a
Yep,
physical
there's no
offensive.
doubt about it. If you got a pretty good offensive line and you got some backs there that can run the ball, that offense is going to score points.
I've worked here for
29 years.
and I don't have a makeup person or somebody that helps me
I
with
know.
my glasses.
Nobody got my
You need a
glasses.
better agent. I see you.
I'm a little jealous. All right, there's the big score. Wheeler, 26-14 over River Forest.
Never get a radio guy to do TV.
Yeah, all kind of problems. All right, let's go down to Route 2 tonight. Crown Point and Lowell. We featured one of their old ball games last night on PFR, which you can see on the PFR Facebook page,
Yes,
Lakeshore
that's
Prep
right.
Sports. And we talked about Jager Gill and Jordan Justovich, and here's Gill right here.
Yep, boy, he had an outstanding game. Justovich had a long run too, and until the second half, Lowell kind of was dominating this game.
My buddy Scott Angel told me today that first team to 14 here usually wins. And it kind of ended up that
That's
way
right.
tonight.
That's right.
What was the final score last year? In double overtime? They scored
9-3.
9-3. So they really went out of their way to top that this season.
Schreiber quarterback played well for Lowell tonight.
Yes, he did, except for that pass.
Yeah, well, except for that one. Yeah, but he hit some passes, and for a guy that hasn't played a lot, he looks composed here.
Yep.
He threw it to number 2 and number 6.
That's
that's pretty good.
That's it. 2 and 6.
And so that's the thing about that. When you have a quarterback and he's not your number one guy, Jusovich obviously the number one guy. You get a quarterback that gets the job done for you, you're going to have a pretty good season.
Oh,
yeah.
Crown Point came back late. Bolden with a nice throw here for a touchdown. They made this a touchdown game in the second half before Lowell closed it out. And
This is another nice one, I think.
Jordan Justovich here taking it to the house off the kickoff return when Crown Point scored
Not even
to
touched.
come back. And Jordan, of course, who's committed to IU.
Yes.
And
How many big plays did we have tonight of 80 yards or more? We had a ton of them tonight.
We might have some more than one D1 players around Northwest Indiana this year.
Well, Gaddafi Coleman really could be one of those players.
Roy Richards mentioned, of course, he's the assistant coach of Michigan City. We had him on the post-game radio. He's impressed with Gaddafi Coleman. Strong young man, and as we mentioned during the radio show, he can actually bench press the town of Griffith.
That's Caden Watson, their tackle for loss for Crown Point. He is their defensive stud with a nice tackle in the backfield. But Lowell wins 27-13. Crown Point had cut it to 20-13. Lowell at Portage next week. So Lowell's defense will be tested without a doubt next Friday night. The shocker of the night comes to us, though, from Viking Field.
Yeah.
It's a great night in the region when Penn loses to a local team. There's no doubt about it.
Which means we haven't had a great night in the region for a while.
In a while.
Yeah.
That's right.
I was talking to or emailing with an old friend, Dan Joya, reminiscing about when his son Carl kicked field goals in back-to-back years to beat Penn. And who would have thought that the Vikings would have got it done
That's
tonight?
right.
So relives it, first time in 7 years, I think, 2010.
2010.
Defense stepped up for them. 7 points they
defense
limited
was
to.
awesome.
And the starting, or not the starting quarterback, but one of the quarterbacks for Penn is Ron Paulus's
Son.
son.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to the highlights. We've got them from Viking Field. And Penn scored early. And who would have known it would have been their only points of the ball game?
That's right.
They played a couple quarterbacks, though, tonight. This Jordan Earl.
He started.
He started.
Yeah.
And Paulus came in, actually in the first half.
Yep.
Right, they were going in and out.
Yeah. And you know, the thing about Valparaiso was this. You knew LaFleur was going to be a darn good QB, okay?
Yeah.
But let's give credit to that defense. Obviously, the offense rolling right here,
yeah.
but give credit to that defense.
That's Eddie Curry. I think the thing and Jesse Harper had a huge night.
Yeah.
I think the thing you worried about was who was he going to throw it to?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Because they lost so many receivers last year. And I mean, their offense wasn't outstanding tonight, but they were playing they didn't make mistakes. They scored enough points. You know, maybe a special teams error late in the game, but their defense bailed them out.
Yeah, that defense played well all night long. And again, haters are going to say, well, Penn had heavy graduation, blah, blah, blah. But Wayne, what did you say about that excuse?
Hey, that's everybody has graduation. There's no two ways.
Well, there's the Penn touchdown. Paul Miola, who I guess is a D1 player too, for Penn, with a nice touchdown catch. But who would have thought that it was going to be it?
Yeah. Not bad by the Valpo defense. Look at the way they gang tackled there. There was no way that receiver was going to go anywhere.
Well, I think the Vikes did have a lot of their defensive
Nice
players
interception
back.
there.
Beautiful throw there to Jesse Harper. Here's the Eddie Curry.
You know, Curry and Harper, you mentioned, were guys that won't get the big ink because of the defense playing as well as they did, but they made their contributions.
Beautiful throw. Valpo was trailing, got a big punt return, great field position, took it down and scored. 12-7 Vikes beat Penn tonight to move to 1-0, and that sets up a great matchup then next week with Mishawaka.
That's right, with Mishawaka. That's a running team, and Mishawaka, I think, only scored, 49 points tonight?
Only?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That is rough. A lot of offense at the Portage Chesterton game. We'll get to the stat score in a minute. All right, how about another team that was hit by graduation was Hobart.
Yep.
And they were taking on Chesterton tonight in their opener. We've got highlights of that one, and I'll preface this by saying I believe the most points that Chesterton scored in a game last year was 27, and that was in the second week of the season against Munster.
Right. Right.
Think they made up for it?
We sat here last night wondering, would Chesterton be able to score?
They lost some players, and they really didn't. We thought they were very young and stuff, and boy, they stepped up tonight to play very well against Hobart.
And they didn't show a lot of offense in their scrimmage.
No, they didn't. No, that's
which
right.
You never know if that's by design or not, but
A lot of times.
let's check out some of those highlights. Chesterton and Hobart, and Chesterton unveiled Louis Rosso, who had a huge night tonight.
Huge night.
223 yards rushing for Louis. This is Sam Ehrlich for Hobart on a nice run.
And you have to replace a pretty good running back from last year for Hobart, and was it done tonight?
Yeah, running back, linebacker, all-world performer.
That's right.
There you go.
That's definitely somebody that's going to be tough to replace. Anthony Frenzel at the TD run. Sam Hicks with a nice catch. You just never know till you lace them up. Obviously,
That's
Chesterton,
right.
a 6A school. Where were they going to develop their offensive line maybe to get more holes open for this, option look. Nice pitch with the left hand.
And there's your Louis Rosso guy. Right
Yeah.
there. Yep.
Quick, small, can get through the holes. That was not a good pitch.
That was a nice
that's
bounce
a nice
pass.
catch.
That was a bounce pass. They're getting ready for basketball.
Put that one in the playbook. 'Cause, once they saw the ball on the floor, nobody went after him.
Exactly.
Raza with the long touchdown run. Hobart's, I think, going to benefit from having a game and then some practice, but of course
Yeah.
with Laporte coming in. They're not going to benefit from that. But
they're
obviously,
not.
when their conference season begins, there'll be a team to reckon with.
Yes, that's right.
This is going to be Sal Valley with the TD run for the Bricks, who came back in this one.
And I guess you have a Chesterton kick return coming up in a few here that's going to help the Trojans out. And we've had a bunch of special teams touchdowns today, the whole 9 yards. We had scoring all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, special teams are definitely, it seems like they're one of the things that struggles with early in the season.
Yeah.
And whether it be field goals, extra points, punt game, snap, punt snap. Jordan Kraft with a tackle for loss. Go ahead and tackle that name, guys.
No, you're on your own on that, Joe.
Omena Onakapomi. That was brutal, but
Close enough.
we should just go by Omena there on the catch.
There you go.
Sam Ehrlich with the run. And Chesterton wins. Huge win for the Trojans. 35-21. They'll look to go 2-0 next Friday night when they take on the Mustangs.
And a good day overall. I know we have a few more scores to go over, but not a bad day for the Duneland Conference. Not
All
bad
right,
at all.
there we go. Let's hit the scoreboard. Michigan City scored late. They had some turnovers early on to beat Griffith, despite a great night for Gaddafi Coleman. Zach Bundelow, I think 5 TD throws.
5 TD throws.
LC with Coach Bartolomeo, and a 33-14 win over Munster. I guess LaPorte is as advertised.
Boy, they really are. 41 points on New Prairie. And New Prairie had their quarterback from last year who was just sensational.
Mishawaka had the ball last. They scored late, 47-45. Anthony Maceo ran, the Portage quarterback, 211 yards, 5 TDs. Great offensive night. But we talked about it last night. This was going to be a big game for Portage. If they could get the win, get off to a great start. They fall by 2 in an offensive match. And Morton avenged a tough loss on opening night last year.
That's right. This was at Highland, too.
Yeah.
So that's a nice victory for Coach Kinsey.
I didn't catch it. I heard Chuck DeMoss say it. I don't know why. There were some Rensselaer folks that sat out the first half tonight. Then they played the second half.
JV quarterback and the JV quarterback played very well.
Okay.
So
then
maybe message
Then
sent.
some of the Bombers played in the second half.
Yes.
They didn't play in the first
That's
half.
right.
So, okay.
Got a Wally Pip there going there, man.
right.
You never know.
So the message was across there, and 27-13 for the Bombers over KV. We'll have more scores when we come back after this timeout live on PFR Scoreboard on Lakeshore PBS.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.
In the year 1959, the Soviet Union successfully launches Sputnik 1, the world's first artificial satellite, into space. Shortly after, the United States and the Soviet Union competed to be the first nation to make it to the next unknown frontier of modern society. The space race, as it is now known, took the world by storm. President Kennedy charges NASA with landing on the moon. The media turned towards science fiction with shows such as Star Trek, Lost in Space, and The Jetsons. Even the education system was affected by this competition, focusing on math, science, and technology. In 1965, South Central High School in Union Mills, Indiana, named its school mascot the Satellite after this historic time in the world.
You know, it was a big popular time in the United States. We wanted something new, we wanted something popular, and satellites really stuck. And we really embrace how the community has come about to be a satellite and how proud we are to be a satellite. We do have the Satellite Inn downtown, which is a big gathering place after games. They actually do offer a certain percentage after games of the bill that comes back to the community to help the school. And just really appreciate of everything that everybody's able to do whenever we're in a time of need or anything that we need to come together. It's usually centered around the school, and we have a great support system of little towns around us that are able to come together and support us as satellites and keep that satellites family strong.
For more information on everything Prep football, visit us on Facebook or on Twitter at PFR Sports.
All right, more scores live on PFR Scoreboard on Lakeshore PBS. Gavitt, the Gladiators, got off to a big win tonight over Calumet by the score of 32-12. No score in yet on the Hammond South Bend Washington game. And East Chicago is going to have a big year.
Yes.
I
My God. They really 57 points.
They lost their quarterback from last year. Obviously, he wasn't missed tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're going to have a big year, looking for that conference title now with being in the conference and in the lake, Great Lakes. So EC off to a great start tonight, but they've got they're playing TF South, I think, next week.
Yeah.
I mean, at least they're in a conference, but they're still playing
Illinois schools.
Yeah. Why? LC's playing Lincoln Way? I mean, what happened to that LC East Chicago game? Clark Whiting battle 119th. It's tomorrow night. Glenn over Boone tonight, 23-12. And I think that's
I think the score is wrong. It's over
I
Central.
think you take the 4, or you take the 6 off the Bishop Knoll.
Yeah, I think you're right.
48-8.
It was 48-8. Hanover defeated Bishop Knoll. So no 68 for Bishop Knoll. That would have been news because they haven't won a regular season game in, I think, 3 years. But South Central over Lake Station, that's a little bit of a surprise.
Yep.
New coaching era there, and Lake Station had a lot of players back, but South Central got off to a great start tonight. LaVille shut out North Newton.
Yeah, but 3-0 though.
Yeah, 3-0.
That's a low scoring game for them.
And Culver shut out North Judson 12-0. Knox won tonight. I don't know if we've got that score, but Knox defeated Winnemac 41-12. Same score with LaPorte over New Prairie. Caston 13-6 over West Central. And Knox wins over Winnemac. I think that might have been 41-14 Knox. Knox is another team that had a great football season last year.
Yeah, they did.
For a school that hasn't had much football success, and we're still looking for these scores, the Bowman score and the Roosevelt Westside game. TW, and if you don't have the Westside final, then nobody does.
Exactly. the great clout I have, yes, of course.
Michigan City wins 25-20. LC over Munster, 41-12 for LaPorte. As we move on, other surprises tonight, obviously Valpo and Drain's big win over Maryville. What surprises?
Chesterton. I thought that was a big win for Chesterton.
Yeah, 35 points for Chesterton tonight. That answers a couple questions
Yes, it does.
right away. 5 touchdowns for Maceo. We knew that was going to happen. Morton over Highland. Rensselaer 27-13 over KV. Next week, some big games. We've got Lowell at Portage. And Whiting's going to be at Griffith.
At Griffith, yeah.
I mean, let's face it, Griffith didn't play bad tonight.
No, they
just
didn't.
played a 5A school
Yes,
who's a few
that's
students
right,
probably from
that's
being
right.
6A.
On the road, no less.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's going to have more depth, be more physical.
Yeah.
But that was a good outing for Griffith tonight.
I would not feel bad if I'm Griffith.
Yeah, I think
You want to win, but
the impressive thing was that their defense held up.
Yeah.
I think for them. So, them being in 4A, now.
Yep.
But the way Andrean played tonight, that might be good.
yeah.
For them being in 4A. So, Andrean 42-13, Chesterton. Crown Point,
They struggled.
they got a good running back in Gomez. But he was kind of in and out today. I don't know if he got shook up. He was out for a while. 27-13 for Lowell over Crown Point.
And a big win for Lowell because if you recall last year, they did not score many points in their season opener against Crown Point. We talked about it
And
earlier.
remember, they got off to a bad start last year.
Yes,
Yeah.
they did,
Well,
that's the first 2, didn't they?
Yeah, the RDP was getting a little,
Yeah.
they were losing it a little last year after the first few weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But they had a great opener tonight, of course, with Justovich and Gill. I mean, what a 1-2 punch.
Yes.
And you think that they're going to get better as the season goes on, as they always do. LC, nice outing for them. We'll see how they play next week.
Nice job for the quarterback there.
Yeah, I think
Bundolo really did it. Zach Bundolo just did an outstanding job
Yeah.
for LC.
And they lost some talented
Yes,
players
they
last
did.
year.
Yes,
so.
they did.
LaPorte, 41-12. They've been talked about as being an outstanding team this year. Our #1 in our PFR poll. They lived up to it tonight, and
we're gonna have to find out what the dirt squirrels are for.
Yeah, I don't know.
The little guys, the real little guys.
I'm already looking ahead to that LaPorte Valpo game in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah.
You know, that might be something that obviously could be a huge game. The way the DAC looks so far. So I think that's going to be a huge game early on. We will see you next Thursday night, guys. Great week, great job on the radio. I caught a little bit on the way in. We'll see you next Thursday night on PFR on Lakeshore PBS.
Program support comes from NIPSCO.
Honey, who is this guy?
Oh, that's Frank. Hey, Frank.
Honey, why is Frank in our bedroom?
He's showing us ways to save money. Plus, he'll even help us install LED bulbs and new shower heads.
Oh, well, he is leaving before I shower, though, right?
To schedule an energy assessment and learn more about energy usage, visit nipsco.com.
Frank, could you hand me a towel?